I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round. If you look back at Bud Crawford's career, there is something really special.
See, there's nothing to do, but damn, like, what else do you gotta do? He's a three-time undisputed champion.
Man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. Like, it's just that, like, you gotta really hurt that dude to turn him away and to try to stop him from doing what he want to do. So, skillful, yes. This and this.
Fighters fear Terence Crawford for many powerful reasons. Roy Jones Jr. even said that Canelo looked uneasy just standing across from him in their face-off. What makes Crawford so intimidating is not only his incredible skill, but also the way he stays calm while reading every move. He almost never gets hit cleanly and punishes even the smallest mistakes with flawless timing, leaving opponents feeling like there's simply no way to beat him.
And that stare down that we talked about when I told you either he's not ready for this or he trying to Bud. He wasn't trying to little boy Bud. He really was afraid. Well, not afraid, but he was worried about Bud. And Bud knew that. And Bud being the older guy, Bud kind of looked him in his eye and made him turn away first. That was a victory for Bud. That was Bud's first victory. Anytime that happens, if something else don't come around or something else don't happen to undo that, you got a problem.
Paulie Malignaggi pointed out how Terence Crawford has built one of the most impressive resumes in boxing. He became an undisputed champion in 3 different divisions, something rarely seen in modern times. And he did it by fighting the best names instead of chasing easy wins. What impressed Paulie most wasn't just Crawford's victories, but how little damage he took while dominating opponents. His record speaks volumes: 41 wins, 31 knockouts, and no losses. Paulie called this run historic and explained that Crawford's recent triumph over Canelo was more than another win. It felt like the dawn of a new era, much like when Floyd Mayweather once ruled the sport. In Paulie's eyes, Crawford has now positioned himself as the defining fighter of this generation.
Flawless. I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round. When you look back at Bud Crawford's career, there is something really special. It's one of those things now, because now I've now seen back-to-back generations of Floyd Mayweather and Bud Crawford, and man, you know, it's one of those things where now I understand why the people that lived in the Ray Leonard era say, you know, oh, wish we could see Ray Leonard against Mayweather, and how that would be. Because it just leaves such an empty feeling when you have such special fighters that were in different generations, and you saw both of them. You know, I saw the entirety of the Mayweather generation. I saw the entirety of the Bud Crawford generation. Just incredible. Really, really incredible. And I know Mayweather gets a lot of hate, but for me, he's a tremendous, tremendous fighter. And Terence Bud Crawford is in that realm as well. And it's a fight we'll never get to see. So what are we going to do, you know? It'll be up to the fantasy fights, you know? But let's get into it, man. I want to get into the undercard as well and some of my thoughts on the Netflix show. But let's get into the main event first. Crawford really boxed very, very well, very, very intelligently. The question mark was what happens when Crawford gets hit cleanly. I'm not sure he got hit cleanly at the whole fight. You know, he got hit with some partial shots. Some shots landed cleanly, but by the time Canelo started landing anything cleanly, I think he was hesitant because he was getting countered so much that he was taking some of the steam off the shots in order to hope to be more accurate. Because even late in the fight, there were a couple of shots that Canelo landed, but they barely moved.
Brian shared how remarkable it was to see Terence Crawford take on Canelo, saying he had rarely witnessed such a perfect balance of defense and offense in today's boxing. Usually, a fighter excels in one area while leaving the other exposed, but Crawford delivered both with sharp precision. Against Canelo, he showed that he could not only shut down attacks with his tight defense and slick movement, but also instantly flip the switch to offense and punish every mistake. Brian explained that this complete package is what separates Crawford from other champions, because he can take away an opponent's weapons while building his own momentum. For him, it was breathtaking to watch a fighter not only avoid damage, but also dominate an elite opponent with such calm skill.
See, I think that for me, I watch defense as much as I watch offense. So, yeah, like I thought, like watching Bud catch those shots off his glove.
He looked amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah. He'd go to his body and he'd catch that and come up with an uppercut. You know, just all those things that seem...
He looked great.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody do that to ever.
No one has. Yeah, he's the best.
Canelo.
Yeah, he's the best.
And I think he would do that to Canelo on his best day. Canelo said it. He goes, I couldn't figure him out.
No.
Which is why he probably won't fight him again. In a way.
They'll fight again.
You think so?
The payday, yeah. But so you're going to get Canelo, because the money's in Canelo Crawford. The rematch. I don't want to see it, but I want Crawford to get paid, so might as well do it.
Andre Ward gave glowing praise to Crawford, calling him the most skilled fighter among his peers. Ward, a master technician himself, emphasized Crawford's mentality, saying that when Terence sets his mind on something, he will stop at nothing to achieve it. Ward explained that the only way to beat a fighter like Crawford is to truly hurt him in the ring, because tricks and tactics alone won't work. Crawford's ability to adapt, switch stances, and think clearly under pressure puts him in a rare class of fighters who can impose their will no matter the situation. Ward's perspective reinforced the belief that Crawford's rise is no accident. It's the result of determination, grit, and relentless commitment to overcoming every challenge.
Somebody that, like, I can bet the house on, but
who's the most skilled fighter today?
Bud is definitely one of them, for sure. Me and him, we so much alike in our mentality. Like, soon as I see this dude, he come in the room or I come in the room, we start arguing about basketball, wrestling, anything, bro. Like, man, you can't, man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. Like, it's just that, like, you gotta really hurt that dude to turn him away and to try to stop him from doing what he want to do. So, skillful, yes. But this and this, it's different, man.
Crawford's journey has also been deeply personal, shaped by his family. He often recalls how his father predicted he would one day become an undisputed champion, giving him belief from a young age. At the same time, his mother doubted he would ever make it to the top. But instead of discouraging him, her doubt became his fuel. Every time Crawford stepped into the ring, he carried the drive to prove her wrong. Over time, with each victory and every belt, he not only fulfilled his father's vision but also won his mother's pride. Today, he reflects with satisfaction, knowing his success brought both validation and respect from his family.
My dad used to tell my mom I was going to be a world champion.
I told him,
how'd that make you feel? It filled me with rage. And every time I stepped foot in the ring or anything that I ever did, I just wanted to win so bad so I can prove a point to her.
I paid the kids, I said, if y'all can whoop Bud, I give y'all $10 a piece. Now,
you went out on the street.
Yeah.
What's now Bud Crawford Street.
Yeah.
And offered $10 to anyone who can kick my son's butt.
Yep.
And a lot of takers.
Yeah, the kids in the neighborhood. Couldn't nobody whoop them.
What did he tell you then?
He told you, Mom, I told you I'm the best.
Looking back at his career choices, Crawford explained that he never aimed to be undisputed at 154 pounds because he didn't see enough meaningful competition there. For him, becoming undisputed is not just about collecting belts but doing it against the best fighters available. Instead of staying at 154, he boldly chose to pursue challenges at 168, where he believes bigger names and tougher fights will further cement his legacy. His refusal to move down shows his confidence in testing himself against stronger opposition, ensuring his career is remembered for ambition and risk-taking rather than comfort or easy wins.
Has being undisputed at 154 ever crossed your mind at this point that you at in your career?
Not at all, because I'm looking at the landscape of the 154-pound division. There's a lot of great fighters, but there's not a lot of defining fights at 154. There's not a lot of legacy fights at 154. You know, when I'm looking at the landscape of 154, I beat, what's his name?
Majimov? No, 154?
No. The champion that just knocked out Tim Tszyu.
Oh, Bakram. Yeah.
Okay, so Bakram, they're gonna say, who is Bakram?
Facts.
He knocked out Tim Tszyu that already had losses.
I would put you down with Fedora though. They gonna...
Tim Fedora already been knocked out.
Yeah, he did.
So, along my career, I've been criticized and people have taken credit away from me just to try to diminish my accomplishments, just off of pure hate.